Sometimes it feels like your child grew up in age, but not in attitude. They're 25, maybe 30, but the mood swings, the mess in the kitchen, the I'll do it later. It all feels like you're still living with a teenager. And the truth is, in many ways, you are. Not because they're lazy or broken, but because the family dynamic quietly froze them in that stage. Think about it. When they were 15, you might have cleaned up after them because you were tired of nagging. When they were 18, you maybe paid a bill because it's just easier. And by the time they're 25, the pattern is so familiar that neither of you notices it anymore. That's how a teenager's mindset lingers into adulthood, because the environment allows it. The reset starts when you stop playing the role of the fixer. If you still do their laundry, chase them about deadlines, or remind them to call the doctor, pause. That's not your role anymore. You're not their personal assistant, you're their parent. And parenting adults means stepping back so they can step up. Here's what that looks like in real life. Instead of saying, "Why don't you ever clean up?" shift it to, "The kitchen is your space to manage from now on. I trust you to handle it." Instead of, "You never pay your bills on time," try, "From this month, the phone bill is on you. If it doesn't get paid, service stops. I believe you'll figure it out." Notice the shift? You're not nagging. You're creating clear boundaries and handing over responsibility. It's also about energy. Teenagers push back when they feel pressure. Adults grow when they feel trust. If every conversation starts with frustration, they'll resist. But if you stand calm, firm, and clear, they sense a new kind of respect, and often they rise to match it. So here's a small experiment. Pick one area where you've been rescuing them. Just one. Decide this week you will step back. Tell them clearly, "This is yours now. I trust you." Then hold the line. Don't rush in if they stumble. That stumble is part of the learning. It will feel uncomfortable. You'll want to jump in, to fix, to remind. But pause. Breathe. Remember, you're not raising a teenager anymore. You're relating to an adult. And adults need space to struggle, to fail, to recover, and to grow. Here's the surprising part. When you stop playing along with the old teenage script, your child eventually stops acting like one. They begin to discover what responsibility feels like. They start to test their own strength instead of leaning on yours. And that is the moment when everything begins to change. So if your grown-up child still acts like a teen, don't despair. Don't label them. Just notice where the old dance is still happening and choose a new step. Because your shift, as the parent, is the signal that the teenage chapter is closing and a new adult chapter is ready to begin. And remember, you're doing better than you think. Just by being here, listening, and reflecting, you're already moving the family forward. The reset begins with you, and every small shift you make opens a bigger future for both you and your child. More insight and info is coming your way. Please subscribe.